Great. Well, it's my next guest on this special episode powered by Vorboss, Leading London. And I have Ben Jaconelli with me, who is indeed the founder and CEO of Fully Charged, an e-bike specialist. Already have so many questions, Ben. Welcome to the Leadership Enigma.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
How on earth do you get into e-bikes?
Well, I've always been obsessed with transportation, the way things move. I was obsessed with cars as a kid.
Right.
And,
Dinky toys?
From Matchbox cars to very nice cars as well. And I was always looking at the cycle industry as, like the future of our cities.
Yeah.
Thinking that cars wouldn't be welcome in the cities, but I looked at it and it looked a bit greasy and it didn't look like there was much money in the industry. But then one day I was going a bit too fast and I lost my license for speeding. And I decided
How fast were you going?
I was going more than double the speed limit.
Let's leave it at that.
So yeah, it was a very fast car.
Okay.
And I blame the technology being so good.
Okay.
Rather than me being irresponsible.
Right.
However, I bought an e-bike, and that was in about 2011, just after the kind of lithium technology started.
I was going to say, were e-bikes in 2011?
They were back in the 1960s, but ultimately they were crap until lithium technology really took place.
Which was when? Around about that time?
About 2011, and then Bosch were the big player that moved in that changed the game.
Okay.
And I was doing my research, and I was like, wow, this is the future. And I literally quit my job and started an e-bike business.
Okay. So what possessed you to just quit your job and start an e-bike business where, there's a huge amount of risk in that.
That's a very good question.
Where's that coming from? Where's that kind of risk attitude?
I work for my family.
Okay.
And I always kind of wanted to do my own thing. I didn't want to be under their umbrella.
What was the family business at the time?
It was a supercar dealership.
Is this why?
Yeah.
Okay. And, so this is why you were brought up around cars.
Exactly.
See, the clues are always
very,
there,
very lucky and brought up with very, very special cars. And
what's your favourite car before we get onto bikes?
Probably the car that I got, which is an RS6. I love a kind of all-rounder, real car.
Is that with the Lamborghini engine in it? That
used to be the case,
right?
But it's a newer one than that.
Sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Which has the V8 naturally aspirated engine.
Okay. Well, now we'll move on to e-bikes.
So that is my guilty pleasure.
Those are two ends of an incredible scale, aren't they? The RS6 and an e-bike.
I'm offsetting it.
Okay.
But yeah, so okay. I never really got into electric cars, and I thought that they were just not really for me. And
do you think there's a future for them, or
not as much as everyone's been making out,
or that we've been promised, right?
Exactly, and I think we're at that turning point with them at the moment. The truth is starting to come forwards.
Okay,
and we can see with what's happening with Tesla, for example, at the moment.
Yes.
Not just because of Elon Musk's behaviour, but also because the truth is coming out, which it always does in these things. But with e-bikes, it's very different. And, for example, an e-bike will cost 6 or 7p to charge versus, an electric car, which will cost 30 or 40 pounds to charge.
Right.
So there's a big difference there. But yeah, going back to the story and why I converted was, I just suddenly realised that e-bikes is the future, and particularly cargo. And that's the area that we really focus on.
Oh, okay. So tell me more about that. You talk about delivery elements in e-bikes.
And for families. So replacing the second or the first car. So for the school run and for adventures with the kids.
Oh, now that's interesting.
This is a big part of our business.
So have you had to do research in relation to that trend or possibility?
I was at the right time for the research. My kids were born in 2017 and 2019.
Right.
And that's as we started to see the big uptake in cargo.
In city life?
In city life mainly.
Okay, which is why we're talking about leading London. So
exactly.
Tell me what it is that because I'm always interested in entrepreneurs' ability to sense make what is going on around them. So tell me, what were you seeing and hearing that made you think, I know?
Yeah. So, I grew up in the countryside, but I wanted to bring up my kids in London. Okay. And for a number of reasons.
It's a great city.
Yeah, it's a great city to be in as a kid. And I kind of missed that a bit in my own childhood. And so I was seeing, the pollution levels were completely illegal at that stage.
Right.
The school runs were a complete joke. It was super stressful for parents, and they weren't able to manage and do all the things that the kids wanted to do, and they were spending time stuck in traffic jams and or outside in highly polluted areas. So, and at that time, that technology was starting to come through, and there were certain e-bike manufacturers that were doing amazing things in the cargo space.
Okay.
Now we've seen lots of the supermarket brands copy.
Yes.
But I was kind of found those top manufacturers early on. and was actually like a bit of a test pilot for them.
Okay.
And as I was riding around through London fields back in the day, everyone was like, whoa, what is that? And I was like, you got done. And I was so kind of enthusiastic and passionate about it. People either thought I was...
What were you riding on at the time then when people were seeing you?
A front-loading cargo bike from a company called Rees & Muller, which is the world's leading e-bike manufacturer.
Okay.
And people were like, what is that? And my partner, was not a proper cyclist, but she quickly became one.
Okay.
And every time at the school gates and, out in... wherever it was, people were like, what is that?
She whizzed in and whizzed out when everyone else was...
parking outside the shops, going straight in, just the whole convenience. And we could do so much more with, swimming lessons, tennis lessons, this, that, rather than, being stuck in traffic and being stressed out. So that became a huge enthusiastic part of my life that I wanted to share with people, and I was well positioned to do that.
Right.
So we made a lot of educational content on YouTube, which got really well received.
Okay.
And we, but then just before COVID, we were really starting to get quite big. And then all the LTNs came in, which are the low transport networks, where they basically put around planters in the streets and blocking off and made it basically illegal to drop your kids off to school by car, and you would get a fine. And so suddenly we started selling, from 2 or 3 cargo bikes a week to 2 or 3 a day.
So did you explode because
Massively.
of the global change in circumstances?
Exactly.
But let's talk about London.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And London was the trendsetter for that.
Were you manufacturing your own, or were you importing?
No. So we were basically finding the best manufacturers and representing them through content, through digital, but also through, kind of experience centres.
Gotcha. And that's what the business is doing now. Yes. You're bringing the best in.
Yeah.
And then, okay. And how did you manage to deal with that growth in demand, but also just some of the challenges that we had to deal with in the pandemic?
Yeah.
How did you balance that?
It was a big challenge. I mean, I think a lot of it came out in my hair, so I went very grey very quickly.
But apparently it makes us look distinguished.
It does. And but yeah, it was incredibly stressful, but we were incredibly well positioned and lucky.
Yeah.
And I'd always been kind of striving to be successful and try and make my mark and do my thing.
Yeah.
And my mentality was the kind of jump off the cliff and build the plane on the way down. Just do it.
Where's that coming from, Ben?
So that's a good question. I mean, my father was very encouraging, let's say, for success.
Is he an entrepreneur?
He's an entrepreneur
by nature?
Self-made, yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know. I was quite confident as a kid. I was good at sport.
Okay.
And so I really
What
wanted
sport?
to. Table tennis.
Okay. Yeah.
And what else was there? I mean, swimming and stuff like that. But table tennis and tennis.
Brothers and sisters?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See, I'm looking for the clues.
Six of us.
There's 6 of you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. A competitive between yourselves?
Very, very. Yeah.
The clues are coming out.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me a little bit about, at the moment you're leading a business. Just help everyone understand what that business looks and feels like now, today, 2025.
Okay,
yeah.
So we have a 15,000 square foot site in London Bridge.
Wow,
it's a big site. It's 4 giant arches underneath London Bridge Station.
I'm going to come and visit this.
You must do. And it's great. And we have about 50 e-bikes there that you can demo, test out, book overnight test rides. And then we have we kind of champion the best e-bike service centre in the UK.
Wow,
which is really important.
Is this an outlet as well? Can you purchase?
Yes,
or
it is. Yeah, so it's an experience centre, showroom, service centre.
So it's everything.
Yeah.
Wow, in the heart of London.
25 people in that site, and and the world's leading e-bike brands, which is awesome. And then we run our marketing team from there as well. So we organise all of our content. And we do a lot of shoots around London. And then we've now got 4 stores outside of London, which are effectively partner stores. It's kind of like franchise, but I don't really use franchises.
Okay, so tell me how that works.
So we find great people that can represent our brand that we trust.
Right.
And it is technically a franchise model, but we call it partner stores because I find franchise is a bit of a dirty word.
Okay. Tell me why.
I just think it sounds quite corporate, and I think partner stores empowers the kind of manager of that store to have ownership.
Okay,
so they feel that it's partly theirs rather than theirs.
It makes it more personal.
It does.
Just the language. Okay,
that's interesting. And they can have their own identity to a degree.
Yeah.
But they follow our brand guidelines, and they stock the bikes that we stock, and we effectively fund their businesses, and then they pay their operational costs.
So there's 4 of those.
There's 4, soon to be 5, and soon to be 6. So the 5th one's coming up.
And where are they? Like home counties or inland?
So Cornwall.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Silverstone.
Right.
Guildford.
There's a car link there, isn't there?
And New Forest.
How do you decide where to go for one?
It's a good question. So it's been a kind of like bit of a synchronized serendipity kind of situation where we're looking in those spots. Mm-hmm. We're looking for black holes where there is not representation currently. Or in one circumstance there was, but it was a takeover, so we took over an existing bike shop.
Oh, interesting.
So these are areas that I'm being particularly fond of. So I grew up near Guildford.
Yes.
And I used to go to Cornwall a lot as a kid.
There's personal knowledge in this selection criteria.
Exactly, yeah, and it's very much the business being a founder-led business has got a lot of that intertwined into its DNA.
What's the aspiration?
The aspiration is to go national and then international.
What would that look like, numbers-wise?
So at the moment, we're turning over just shy of 7 million, and that's out of 5 sites.
Amazing.
We want to get to 12.
Yes.
And we're experiencing really good kind of year-on-year growth anyway.
Yes.
And then the international play is really exciting, and it's a new territory which has made a huge investment into cycling, and I have a golden handshake with my manufacturers to be able to open there.
Oh, wow. Are we hearing this first? Is this almost... Yeah, this is... So internationally, where are some of the places that would be a good place for you to start to open up internationally?
Yeah, so the European market is quite saturated because Germany is so advanced in its e-biking culture, not just its cycling culture.
Okay.
As well as Holland, as well as France. So given that the European kind of setup is quite saturated, we've been looking at other areas.
Yes.
And I'm very happy to share with you Dubai is going to be one of the best cycling cities in the world.
Really?
Yeah, they're building an air-conditioned loop around the city.
No.
There's 40 there's 1 millionaire moving from the UK to Dubai every 40 minutes at the moment.
I saw that. We've lost an enormous amount of millionaires from now. This is interesting because you're growing this business in London, where there's a huge exodus of wealth and entrepreneurship leaving the capital.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think I might join them, to be honest, because it's getting pretty tough here in London.
Can you see yourself?
I can
running ops over there.
I think while my kids are at that age as well, I would like to have them in secondary school over here.
Yes,
but given that they're 5 and 7 at the moment, I think I've got a window to go and for them to experience a new culture and maybe some nicer weather and
Brickell in the summer.
Yeah. So Dubai is a really interesting one, and then that follows suit with Abu Dhabi as well.
Yeah.
So spending some time over there doing a founder license deal is something I've been researching quite a lot.
That's fascinating.
Met some really interesting people.
Yeah.
And I have a very strong connection to Thailand.
My daughter lives in Thailand.
Oh, really?
Tell me more.
So I
on the main Thailand, Bangkok, or the islands?
Yeah. So I met my partner Eva in Koh Phangan. In a place called the Sanctuary, which is a yoga retreat, and we visited back to Thailand every year.
Right.
And I was very lucky to be involved with the setup of a festival called Wonder Fruit, which is just outside Pattaya. And so I go back every year, and I'm an ambassador of that festival.
Oh.
So we fall in love with it, and the more you go to Thailand, the better it gets. The deeper into the culture you get, the people are amazing.
It's the place to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have a daughter who lives on the island of Koh Tao.
Oh, very nice.
Which is the diving mecca.
Yes.
So can you see Thailand as well being an opportunity for you?
So we've sold quite a few bikes there already, mainly through personal connections. But I think there's a long way to go. I mean, the city is not going to make the infrastructure changes for it to be safe to cycle around with your kids, for example.
You've just hit on something. I wanted to talk about how do you help balance the opportunity with the safety issue? Because let's be honest, the traffic in and around London and major cities is challenging.
Yeah.
So how do you balance that?
So it's a good question. I mean, the cycling infrastructure in London was at an all-time high in 2020, but over the last 5 years, it's been really slow. But I'm pleased to say that this year is one of the years when it's going to get back to that kind of growth.
Okay.
And they're putting in new cycle lanes everywhere. Well, not everywhere, in about 5 or 6 of the boroughs. Still the typical old Kensington and Chelseas, and these guys are very slow to adapt.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the point I always say to people is when you are choosing to go from a point to point in London, people go, oh, right, well, what's the shortest distance? And actually on a traditional, acoustic bike, like preserve your energy, you know, this and that. But on an e-bike, it's very different. This is a meditative thing to do, you know, and what you can do is you can go, okay, all right, I'm trying to get from Hackney down to, I don't know, London Bridge, and you know, you take advantage of the cycling infrastructure, separated lanes and some of the canal paths, and you might not go the shortest route, you go the slightly longer route because it's so enjoyable and because it's very relaxing.
Okay.
So I think, you know, there is good infrastructure there that is safe, but you've just got to like think, you know, outside the box a little bit, or use Google Maps, because that will tell you it. So
Ben, I need to try one of these bikes at some point.
I'd
So
love to welcome you
we're going to
down to it,
definitely have to come down, I think,
Yeah.
with the cameras.
Yeah.
And we might have to do a little bit of an on location in London
I'd love it.
and do an e-bike challenge if you're up for that.
Yeah.
No one really knows what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in Johannesburg last week, and there was a very eminent economist on the stage, and he made a prediction, and literally 12 hours later he was wrong because Trump had done something,
Yeah,
and it was
there you go.
so
Yeah,
no one knows what's happening. But
Yeah.
what do you hope the future looks like for cycling, e-bikes, and your business in 5 years' time?
So at the moment, there's a lot of scaremonger in the press in general across all industries.
Right.
But we're seeing e-bikes getting tarnished with a bit of a bad name because of cheap conversion kits that are put together by kids.
Right.
Being technically like homologated as like e-bikes.
Yeah.
So like electric motorbikes, which like kind of rude boys are riding around with face masks on, are electric motorbikes.
Okay. Is this? I was going to say, because we got the mobile phone pandemic.
Yeah.
Are those e-bikes?
No,
or?
they're electric motorbikes, and they are not e-bikes. So an e-bike is 15 miles an hour assisted, and you have to pedal.
Right.
You can't have a throttle. But all the Deliveroo riders and these guys are on illegal electric conversion kits.
Aren't they essentially motor vehicles or motorbikes,
Yes,
and therefore
they're
you
not
should be
e-bikes.
helmets, insurance,
Yeah,
all of that, but
yeah.
none.
No.
So we've got a huge unregulated issue in most
Exactly,
major cities.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow, I hadn't appreciated
and like these guys, like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, are not regulating it properly, and they're just allowing these guys to come in as cheap labour on cheap illegal bikes, and they are not putting in, you know, a kind of a rule about.
So how do you distance yourself from the bad press that is very easy to aim at that?
It's really difficult, and we make educational content. We've got support from people like Bosch, businesses like Bosch, and the British Association of Cycling.
Yeah.
They're doing a whole e-bike positive campaign at the moment to try and separate it. And you know, again, what I was saying earlier is the truth always wins, in my opinion. But you know, it's just like, how long does it take? You know, and then time is against us.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. I mean, what it looks like in the future is just to be correctly, like, kind of type approved, and maybe the police are confiscating, you know, more illegal e-bikes on the road.
Okay.
So I've said it wrong there. Illegal conversion kits or electric motorbikes.
Right.
And I think that, you know, the city needs e-bikes to work, and it is working to a degree. We lack awareness, and there's confusion around what's legal and what's not.
I'm assuming that cities can't actually cope with the increasing amount of people and traffic congestion and pollution.
Totally. Yeah.
So in many ways, you would hope
Yeah.
that there is a movement towards trying to utilise.
I heard a stat that there's 2 new tube carriages of people arriving to London every week in this kind of like urban migration.
Right.
And they just can't deal with that amount of people coming into the cities. So, you know, e-bikes is a great answer. I mean, we can see with the rise of Lime, I mean, it's huge, you know. I mean,
I find the whole thing fascinating. That's why I love this podcast, because I just learn so much as well. What would be your best advice to someone who wants to start a business? Because let's be honest, it's very challenging.
Yeah.
There's an understatement.
Yeah.
What's your advice to anyone out there, some of the youngsters as well, full of ideas, and may say, I want to run my own business, I want to be an entrepreneur. What would your advice be?
I think that, like, you know, there's a good piece of advice that I was told once by an ex-girlfriend's father was never turn down a good profit. And I think that speaks in so many different ways. You know, it speaks in, you know, don't be too emotionally attached to your business. Don't be greedy, you know, kind of like, you know, accept the wins, you know, and don't hold on to something for the wrong reasons. And so I think that, you know, just do what you love, but don't be too emotionally invested to it.
Are you emotionally invested in this?
I am.
Well, so how do you deal with that? Because you're a founder, and I know what your business is your other baby.
Yeah.
So how will you balance knowing when it's the right time to get out the way
yeah.
or the right time to how are you going to balance that?
So having a great team is obviously the most important part of any business. A company is called a company because it's the company you keep.
Sure.
And having some great advisors, having some people that have done it before, you build a proper relationship with that buy into you as a person as well as a business. And I've been very lucky to have some great advisors, not officially Neds, but the kind of like unofficial Neds test driving a Ned seat. If you know what I mean.
Do you have a board or an advisory panel?
We do. Yeah.
Okay.
We've been
How many
lucky.
people are on that?
About 3 or 4.
Okay.
And we've just undergone investment for the first time. So we're 10 years old.
Right.
And I took investment this time last year.
Okay.
Not a huge amount, just a few $100,000 for a small percentage on a decent.
Are you
valuation.
testing the ground a little bit?
Totally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're getting ready now to raise some proper investment.
Yes.
And really go international and go strong.
Wow, this sounds super exciting, and that is why I love the opportunity to talk to people like you. Ben, thank you so much for being part and parcel of this particular episode, Leading London, powered by the wonderful Vorboss. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.